5 minutes. Maybe next time.
Hey,
Just to pre-warn you.
thank you.
Trying to stop. Had a long day.
You look like it.
Left here today. All town would blow right up. Next person that called me. Forget it. Good. No, it's just like crazy. It was busy for the building season, which is fine. That's the other stuff. Going and getting 30 beers. He said to my gambler,
Couldn't waste the coffee.
we had to wait for coffee.
One of my good customers dropped it off, so he was like, do you want me to bring this to you, or I'm like, yeah,
Wow.
bring it to me.
No salad, huh?
It was earlier, one of the customers brought me a salad, and one of the, that was my breakfast and lunch.
Right?
Yes,
How's the life down the lake?
Nice.
Scheduled.
Quiet.
Quiet. Well, people are starting to come in now, so,
Got a nice breeze down there.
yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
A little girl.
$1 million view.
Yep,
That's right.
that's why, that's why I pay those taxes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Still ain't figured out
Maybe with you.
what's
She's
going
like,
on
well, I
in
don't
that
know
place
about
on
that. I was like, well,
County Road 1.
I don't think.
Built that nice
Like
long
babies here.
dirt driveway, put a lot of money in it.
How old is
Nothing
the
going
baby?
on.
Yeah, they're just.
One of our employees.
Yeah,
I should look around.
AG is saying.
Yeah, see where that happens. Obviously, that's a way.
well, it goes down to farmer, Fred Burton's property line right there. And I'm just the opposite, at the end of that open field. Yeah. A lot of money, so.
Yeah, I know.
Which intends to require nobody's
Yep.
So we're not waiting yet.
Ready? Call the meeting to order. 6:03. Roll call. Karen Valentino? Yes. Mike Catulli?
Yes.
Cindy Gaibo? Melissa Mundy?
Yes.
Samantha Heisby?
And
Ellen Chase is absent. He was here last week.
Mike said the constable was here last week when we didn't have a meeting, he also heard about the so I don't know, he can do a very good job at making sure that the constable.
Oh. He was here.
So that was oversight.
You know when you get
All
back.
right, can we have a motion to open the public hearing for Bell Atlantic, doing business as Verizon?
I make a motion that we open the public hearing for Bell Atlantic.
I'll second.
Okay. So if you,
Karen Valentino?
Yes.
Mike Catulli?
Yes.
Cindy Gaibo?
Yes.
Melissa Mundy?
Yes.
So if you wouldn't mind, coming on up and you can, just give a, we're gonna have the public hearing, just, explaining, briefly what the project is.
Absolutely. Come up for that case you all.
Yeah, sure.
There's
Oh, do we have the podium right here?
Oh, sorry, perfect.
But I don't know if anyone can see.
You might wanna push it back.
Well, good evening, board. My name is Jeff Twitty. I'm an attorney with Dixon Peabody here tonight on behalf of Verizon Wireless. What Verizon is proposing tonight is a 170-foot lattice-style telecommunications tower at 277 Potter Road. What we're requesting from this board is site plan approval, as well as a waiver from the requirement that all public utility facilities within the town be shielded from adjacent parcels, because, you know, as a 170-foot tower, this is barely going to be visible from other parcels. I believe over the course of the last 2 meetings that we've appeared before this board, we've displayed the need for this project in this particular area, as well as the need for the height of the project in this particular area. And we're happy to answer any questions that the public may have tonight.
Okay, thank you. All right, so it is, time for the, public can, speak about, their own questions or thoughts, and so, Chris and Amanda Fleming, it looks like you're on the same line, if you wanna take turns, or, is that, are you Chris?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to say, and there is a time limit.
I guess the first question I think a lot of us wanna ask is where exactly this tower will be on that property.
Okay.
It is a fairly big property. We currently reside at 291 Potter Road, which according to Google Maps is right next door to where this tower will be built. And our first question is, because of the close proximity, is it going to be closer to the road? Is it going to be off in the woods? That's an initial question.
Did you see the map of the design of where they're gonna put it, is available on the New Haven website?
I did not know.
Okay, so if you go to, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna make you a couple copies for you.
Okay,
But you
excellent.
just show them.
If I could just, yeah,
I've got an extra copy of the whole application.
Yeah. So there's a drive that leads in.
yeah, this is our house. It's a shed. So we're looking at,
Exactly how far away from the property line is
You're the adjacent, property,
that's not far.
This has to be at least, what was it? It has to be one, and the fall distance has to be 1 and a half.
Yeah, okay, you can, the length of the drive again, before you get to the pad. Yep. Mr. Twitty?
It's almost
I'm sorry.
350 feet,
Yeah.
almost 400 feet.
So, these are the, property owners, right next to, on this side right here, is that right? Yeah.
correct, we live right on the corner here. We'll be just west, the property just west of
Okay.
of
Sure.
the tower.
And you're looking for a distance?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out
Yes.
from our house how far this
well,
house
not from the
is.
house, from the property line.
From the property line, 274.
274 feet.
Correct.
Does it?
So the tower would end up being probably around 350 feet from our home.
Around that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So if I can have some time, I'm sorry, I've gotta just. So yeah, hi, my name is Chris Fleming. My wife Amanda, my son Michael is there as well. We moved to New Haven about 7 years ago. We bought the property. A lot of the things we were looking for and a lot of the things we weren't going to give up on when we were looking for a home to raise our family was some space, some land, and a nice community, and just small town feel, I guess. The house really drew us in. It's not a fancy house, it's not a big house, but it had a lot of little things inside that we loved, and one of the big things we loved was the back deck, looking out over an open field and a nice forest, beautiful trees. Right down the road is Bailing Orchards. just, it's a beautiful area to live in. And we've grown to really love it. Shortly after moving in, we got my son involved in Cub Scouts, which was a quick connection to me ending up joining the New Haven Volunteer Fire Department. And we've kind of become settled in to this community. When I got the letter, I was concerned. My initial concern was, I don't wanna look out on my back deck and see this giant tower looming every day. I know it's a selfish concern, but it was my initial concern. And then I started doing just a little research. And I know everybody's probably heard of the crazy talk about 5G is making people kill themselves, 4G, and it's all these things. I'm not here to spread any kind of silly conspiracy theory. I'm here to talk about the actual research that's been done about people who live within close proximity to cell towers and mobile towers. I'm sorry if I run long. If I run long, please tell me to stop talking. I've got a lot of stuff here. So Verizon themselves consider the electromagnetic field wireless and non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation is defined as a type of pollution. This comes from the Verizon Total Mobile Protection Plan, in their own words. Studies have shown all across the world, from I think the oldest one I read was from 1997, all the way up until 2021, 2022, that that you do pose significant health hazards to people who live under 400 meters and even under 1,000 meters from a cell tower. First and foremost includes, it's extremely carcinogenic. The rates here I'm looking at for abnormalities, some studies show within 50 to 100 meters, 24 to 40% increase in tumors, especially amongst children and the elderly. Obviously, just like any other radiation, that's usually who gets the brunt of it. It also includes blood pressure problems, hair loss.
Could you tell me, the reference you're using right now?
I have this for you if you'd like to. I have several studies. These are reviews of studies with, it has all their,
It is highly regulated though, so what was included in this application package, and I'm going to encourage you to look at the application because it's in there as one of the, under one of the, tabs that they've included. But there, I mean, that's very carefully looked at by, these companies as they're putting things in. It's regulated by the federal government. So it's not, there may be certainly problems that you can state as if things are not regulated, but I don't necessarily think that what you're saying applies to this situation.
So I do have to point out that the US has one of the least stringent regulations when it comes to cell phone towers and cell phones. There's studies in India that seem to be taking a more, have a more stringent policy than the US. And for a country that had the worst ever industrial accident in human history, I mean, they seem to be taking it a lot more serious than us. He's got studies from Germany, there's studies from Sweden.
Okay.
So just because the US doesn't regulate it as much as other countries, doesn't mean there's not a risk. And that's our concern, is that there is a risk to us and our family.
Okay, so, yeah, we would like copies of this, something, of course, that we would like to see the material on.
Absolutely,
That
this,
you have collected.
I have copies of this material home for myself, so you guys are welcome to take this.
Okay.
I just have highlighted a couple of things that I found. Moving on, such as we talk about these studies, in Germany, there was a conclusion of the incidence of cancer was considerably greater for those who had resided within 400 meters from cell phones, from these mobile phones. Sorry.
And I do just have to point out, 400 feet from a cell phone tower is only 121.92 meters.
On top of that, now, a lot of these studies, a lot of this stuff is found within children, but also regular adults, long-term exposure to this, including, contact with these electromagnetic areas has been discovered in these countries, to be associated with Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, and other motor neuron diseases. I know this is, in mice, it has found sterility. I don't plan on having any more kids, but I would hope that if my son wanted to, this wouldn't hamper that. I'll explain it later, bud.
Okay.
He's only 12.
We're not against the cell phone tower itself, we just want it
Absolutely.
further
Well,
away from the house, further away from our property where we spend a lot of time outside, unshielded from anything. There's no house out there to protect us if I'm outside, just in my yard.
so outside of that, let's talk about other issues. My wife has a bird feeder outside. She's got several, actually. One of them being a hummingbird feeder. And there's 2 or 3 hummingbirds that live right outside our house that have gotten pretty comfortable with us. They'll hang out with us all back then. Included in these studies, they studied animals, obviously, because where they put these things a lot of times are in forests, and it has been found that birds of all kinds tend to leave the area. The electromagnetic radiation coming off of these towers is harmful to them, and they leave. Having wildlife out around is one of the draws of where we live, including something that I think everybody's heard a lot about over the last several years is bees. The electromagnetic radiation coming from these towers has been known to confuse bees where they are unable to find their hives, and they end up wandering around and dying. I know that Bailey's Orchards, who lives just down the road, a lot of their stuff is self-pollinating, and they don't really rely on bees, but I guess it's a question of, do we wanna take a risk? Do we wanna add this already? We live in a small town. We're a little bit old-fashioned. It's kind of nice. I don't think personally, as a homeowner, and I apologize, I use AT&T, not Verizon. Being able to be better reachable is not necessarily a positive for me. That's pretty much all I have. The only other thing I'd like to address, I guess, is we'll talk about money. My wife has found some instances where they say property values drop about as much as 2.6% for those that live near cell towers. My big thing is that what they're finding is, let's see if I can get it here, insurance costs. Insurance costs are will increase for people. My homeowner's insurance could increase because of the proximity. I wanna leave.
Why would homeowners be increased?
I'm trying to find the words here that the study used. Insurers rank this electromagnetic radiation as high risk, comparing the issue to lead and asbestos. A 2019 report by the Swiss Re Institute, a world-leading provider of insurance, classifies mobile networks as high off-the-leash risk, stating existing concerns regarding potential negative health effects from electromagnetic fields are only likely to increase. So, there it is. And
All right, thank you very much.
Take this to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you. All right, so pass these over. And, make some copies as well. What's that? Let me see. Yeah, right, that's what he's handing.
No, the attorney.
Oh, Jeff, see,
Yes.
if Jeff has any, oh, okay, thank
Any
you.
response?
Yes, if you wanted to respond?
Absolutely, are there more comments? or-
There are more, we can wait until all the comments if you'd like, or it may help others. Becca, wait till everyone's.
We can wait.
Okay.
if you want.
Fran?
Everyone in case they have the same.
Fran, motion.
I'd like to reiterate pretty much my feelings about the same what Chris and Amanda both said. I was, really concerned more of the property values, what that was gonna do. And I was interested in what is the town going to benefit in any way from this? Is it gonna help infrastructure as far as other businesses or anything like that? That was another one of my questions. So I just, I didn't know, what was gonna happen as far as, is it just gonna help the environment, is it the community at all?
I think that the need for, reliable, quality cell service is the evident, benefit of this. As far as, it's looked at as other utilities are looked at, and we're providing phone, and electricity and things like that to areas, so it's a similar type of.
So this is Sharp's property,
What's that?
this is Matthias Sharp's property, Frank?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Fran.
Thank you.
So Fran, where's your place located?
Right across the road from Chris and Amanda,
Okay,
292 Potterwood.
all right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.
All right, and, Justin Weimer?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm with Jeff.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, we just signed it, just not to speak. Okay, gotcha. All right, let me just cross you off there. All right, so, Chris and Amanda and Fran, who have signed up to speak, have spoken, so, Jeff, if you wanted to, respond, that would be good.
Alright, so I guess the first thing that I'll respond to is the comments about the safety impact of the tower as far as electromagnetic and RF energy. As the chair said, the FCC sets very strict guidelines for the amount of electromagnetic and RF energy that facilities like this can emit. I guess in Verizon's corporate interests, the FCC licenses that it pays billions of dollars to obtain and maintain kind of hinge on them being in compliance with these requirements at all times. So, Verizon goes into communities all across the country. I think the last thing they wanna do is put anybody at risk health-wise, but, even if you don't believe that, the greedy company certainly isn't gonna wanna put their $1 billion license at risk in any way by putting bullets in danger. I can't really speak to studies done in other nations, that state the health impacts that these towers may or may not have. But Verizon as well as in the FCC regulations for, the energy emissions. Certainly personally, I'm very sympathetic to the idea of preserving community character. Living next to a 170-foot structure is gonna have an impact. Just visually going outside, that's something that I completely get. But again, this is a public utility, no different than a telephone pole or a pumping station. It's just something that needs to be in a particular location to give a vital and crucial service to a community. And you know, here it's really, as folks are getting rid of landlines in their homes and relying more and more on cell service, especially for things like 911 calls, it really is a crucial resource to have in a community. And you know, as we've shown, it needs to be placed at the site that we proposed. So, I guess those are my comments.
Thank you. Could you tell me which tab was the FCC guidelines?
That would be exhibit N.
N? Okay, thank you. So I am remembering more information, but I think I actually followed the link that's in the letter and was checking it out online because it wasn't something I was familiar with.
I'm gonna give them a copy and.
Yep.
That's what.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so I would encourage you to, there's a few links there, one with the safety, more, detailed information about it, and I thought that was, very informative. All right, do we have any other comments? Anyone can do them right? Can we make, motion, is it okay to close the public hearing?
I make a motion that we close the public hearing on Bell Atlantic.
Second. I'll second.
Okay, Karen Valentino?
Yes.
Mike Cattouli?
Yes.
Cindy Gaibo?
Yes.
Melissa Lindy? Yes.
All right, let's, take a moment to, review the April meeting minutes. If you haven't already looked at them. everyone's ready, no one's, we're good. All right,
I make a motion that we accept the minutes for April 17th.
I'll second. Karen Valentino?
Yes.
Michael Julie?
Yes.
Judy Igo?
Yes.
Melissa Wendy?
did we finish that? Sorry, I didn't hear, oh my goodness. All right, I was like, well, this has changes or something. All right, so, let's look at, we wanna discuss the Bell Atlantic, Verizon application. Or unless there's updates that we need to share beforehand. Are there any tree updates?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the only tree update we have is, Melissa was going to be ordering the, flowering dogwood trees.
Okay,
And they're no longer available anywhere that she's looked so far. So
Okay.
as of right now, there's not gonna be an order for dogwood trees unless we find some available order.
okay. So we need to, okay. So we'll look a little bit more, and then if it's still the case, then we'll let folks know that we can try again next year. All right. All right, thank you. And then the other trees all were received, red maple and
Red maple and the black walnut,
black walnut, okay. And they are
they've been handed out.
alive and where they
I
need
don't
to be.
know if there's any left. I think they're gone.
Okay, that's good. All right, happy to hear it. Okay, thanks. All right, let's discuss the Bell Atlantic application. Where we are at. So Rebecca, would you wanna comment on the?
Yeah, so I sent out the seeker notifications, we did not get any response at all from the DEC. I did not receive any comments, I don't know if you did, Ron, and you did hear from the town of Mexico, nothing. We did get a response, from the county, planning office, that they reviewed the application and the other forms that we sent them, and they, recommend approving the project. They didn't have any questions, concerns, or comments, in regards to the application. And then I believe today, we got the response from, Ag and Markets about the application. So the only people we didn't hear back from was the DEC.
And the response from, those agencies was that they, approved the proposed action?
Correct, and that the county approves, once the board makes a determination, we have to report within 30 days of the board making a determination and let them know whether we, approve it and went along with their recommendations, or if the board, for some reason were to disapprove the application, you have to explain to the county why you're, acting contrary to what they recommended. And that's a standard process for whatever the application would be that the county would review. remark, it's just, they said based upon the information provided, it appears that the proposed action, obviously, will occur within a county adopted ag district. And he just referred us to documents to look at, about requirements and construction. But they didn't have any opposition to the project. Did you receive any calls from anyone in the community, any emails or anything from anyone?
Anything that came in? Planning site?
We can look at, are there other questions that all of you guys want to ask anyone, or ask these guys? Do we want to have some time to digest some of the information that was shared with us? Can we look at the basis of consideration and kind of look at some of those items?
Any other questions for Jeff, obviously?
So, Jeff, is there a guideline for how close the towers can be built towards an existing standing home? Is there a limit where they'll say you can't build it within this proximity?
So typically, those limits are set locally. Looking at the land development law, there wasn't any, tower setback saying that, the tower has to be X amount of feet from a property line or from the existing, residential structure. But, typically we handle those on a municipal level. I can say that the closest property line to this tower is about 103 feet.
Okay, the closest you said property line or property, like residence?
Property line.
Okay, 103 feet, and that was to the, and is that for, the Flemings, or is that a different property? Not
That is not for the Flemings, I think they're specific for.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question. I keep on seeing 281 Potter Road, near 277 Potter Road, and I'm familiar with Potter Road, but, so, this parcel number 098.00-01-26, is that 281 Potter Road, or is it 277? Is it Matthias's, or is it a new one then?
That would be 281.
281, so that parcel is 281.
Correct.
It's separated from Matthias's property then.
No, so the 277 that you're seeing, that's what the county gave as a 911 address, should there ever be any reason to get emergency facility. So the address is 281 of the parcel. The 277, that's just specific to the tower, just for emergency purposes.
Yeah, so that, parcel tax number is Matthias's.
Correct.
Okay. I have another question now too. I noticed it said applicant, so who's really the applicant? Bell Atlantic, or is it Matthias?
So Bell Atlantic, Verizon Wireless is net.
But the address for the applicant is 281 Potter Road.
So
And you're
we
saying
set,
that,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
so you're saying that that's your address or Matthias's?
So we signed a lease with
Yes.
Matthias that gave us the ability to seek government approvals on his behalf. So that is us applying on his behalf as the applicant, but I suppose jointly we're the applicant, but he gave us the rights to apply.
As I noticed, your name's, Matthias's name, and then, so it's a bit concerning as to, exactly who is the application information. Because the address for you is 1275 John Street, 100 West Henrietta. So, you're the applicant, that's your address, but the project is gonna be on Potter Road.
Correct.
It might be appropriate.
Jeff, what is the fall distance from the tower to the property to the east? As far as is any structure on the property to the east of the project?
So typically, these types of towers have breakpoints to where, you know, if the tower, in the event of a tower collapse, the tower would collapse upon itself at about half the distance, or, you know, come up. So with a 175-foot tower, I'd say the tower would probably collapse at a point of 80 feet or so. That's not shown on the plans I looked through, so, you know, technically, that parcel to the east, I'd say, is 103 feet, so if the entire tower were to fall, it would fall onto that adjacent parcel. But with the break point, it would stay off.
Is there a structure? Yeah, is there, where is the structure on the property to the east? Is there a structure?
I think we're gonna do 174 in the last meeting.
I don't know if it's shown on the plans.
Yeah, it looks like in the last meeting, Melissa pointed out there was discussion of it being 174.
Okay.
I don't,
On the bottom of page 2 from our minutes.
that's up towards the front of the property, front of the property line.
So the tower itself is 170, and then there's a 4-foot lightning rod on top of it, so I don't know if that's what you're referencing.
No, we had last month, we discussed, there was a question.
There was. Did we get the, so that is incorrect, is that what you're saying? Because we're saying the eastern property line, it should have, was it the western property line? That it should have been?
No, I think this is right.
Okay.
Seeing it on the board.
Well, yeah, cause he just.
Do you have the minutes from the?
Yeah, we had, but he just said something different.
Yeah, at 130, I think you said?
I think he said the property width was 130. The property to the east, how far did you say?
So from the fence compound, property to the east looks to be 82 feet. The tower itself is 103 feet west.
The tower. The property line from the tower is 82. Is that correct?
From the tower is 103, from the compound is 82.
So what I'd like
else it will be up? Do you have the structures, the houses on those properties?
I can see on a map, and the adjacent structures on property, yeah, I don't see anything on there.
Okay, it seems like a relevant question. So even with the, collapse, break point that you've mentioned, that's, brings it very close to the property boundary. It's breaking at 80 feet. That's basically right on the property boundary.
From the 82 to compound, traveling about 20 feet further.
Ron brought up a good point, the property to the east, if that individual ever wanted to do anything towards the back of his property, where if you look at the property line on the map, how it does that little bend, it'd be extremely close to anything he was gonna add.
And you stated that that's the spot, you can't move it back farther away?
We can, and Dustin may be able to speak more about how we came up with this site. I think the presence of wetlands and just other structures on the property make it so it'd be difficult for us to maneuver.
So you're saying that if you can't move it more south past the wetlands?
I think there's wetlands on that.
It'd be a longer distance to drive to it, access road, but there's already an access road to there.
And there may be more clearing,
There might be more clearing. But it'd be away from,
right, just be further away from that property line.
And, I mean, this one has wetlands on it, and it doesn't look like even moving, like, kind of back in this area, further away. Right, but, I mean,
this
this,
is all.
no, I'm just saying, even on this property.
No, that's towards Bailey.
Oh, okay.
Bailey's in
But you see,
Purple
there's
Road.
still that thing here that goes here.
Right.
And this gentleman decided to go back, he'd never go back. He didn't build a house, cause he's just so you aware of that. Just come back at the bottom.
Ron, looking at,
Right here, it's too close to his house.
that's what I was wondering, where,
Too
where
close.
they're located.
That's, Merrill passed away, there's just over some house over there. They're here. But behind that, looks like it's my next door neighbor. This is me. So there, this is Howard. So now I'm with others, which would be, so that's,
This is his property as well?
yeah. Matthias owned almost 100 acres behind, this.
Okay. And so when you're putting here, that's
Well, I-
Matthias as well?
That's the number that they give us, but I don't think the words about this, see if Matthias' actual tax map number is that, but that's what you're saying, see that right there? The tax map number there.
This is where the tower is.
Ron has a recommendation.
Right here.
And this is the two hundred.
Neighbor.
Okay.
If they moved it back here, what does that look like? We're looking to see if you moved it, the
the question I would have is just if, on County Route 43, how close those houses are. If you're moving, if you're talking about over this direction a bit,
She's talking.
that way.
Going south.
If you move it
Yeah,
south some.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
So south is this way.
correct. That's, and Cindy Owen was just saying that maybe those houses on 43 are too close to her.
But we guys,
Right. Okay. I don't think that will be impacted. Gotcha. So can you see all of the structures there, all the homes? I mean, is there a place in the middle, further down on Matthias's property that kind of puts it in a sweet spot further from other people as well? With just a longer driveway basically being the solution?
I would say that's not something that we could necessarily commit to right now without further investigation.
Absolutely, we would want you to,
Because certainly, I mean, there's many factors, elevation, wetlands, what the homeowner actually prefers, so there's,
Right.
you know,
Like
that's,
right in here.
could it work? It potentially could, but there's usually pretty good
So
reason
I
as
was
to
just
where
wondering if they got,
it
I mean,
ends
I
up.
realize-
And zoning and
I
neighbors are
understand.
certainly a
But then
factor,
Cindy's
'cause
saying there might
we
be
know for every
others.
site we're
Right.
going to go through this
So that we're
process and
looking
wanna
at,
make sure
you know, that
we get through
distance.
it easily.
That's just what I thought.
Okay. I didn't, I'm sorry. What was that?
So I'm just speaking generally, it's possible that it could work, but without speaking with the homeowner, of course, and the Verizon, the elevation is a big factor, where the property owner actually wants it's a big factor. Wetlands is huge, we can't be too close to the wetlands and disturb any of that.
Yeah, we absolutely understand the challenges with the wetlands and the elevation,
there's a hill here.
yeah.
And there's a
You're about 335 elevation wise. I don't know if we even have elevations on the other part of the,
There should be an elevation page, I'm not sure.
yep, there is, there's a good one, it's detailed. But it's right where the site is, rather than the whole property.
I see. There should be a zoomed out one as well.
Okay.
I thought I Googled it, but.
Oh, you are absolutely correct, there is another elevation one.
It's page, page 5 is the same.
It's actually a little higher elevation as you go further back.
Yeah. Sheet 5 has a larger view. A broader area, I should say. This is where it's at. Okay.
It's impossible to make everyone happy, we try to get as much of the damage as we can. There's a lot, there's certainly. So of course, you know, what the owner is going to offer us is a big factor, if we can't get the lease, then that's, stops us right there, and there's a lot to it. I'm sorry.
Matthias County.
Oh, I can't speak to that.
Yes.
I don't even know if the bias was out there.
I saw those trucks up in there this spring. I saw the right trucks, there's something going on. But I think,
You maybe should go a little further away. It's not as close as to that part that's right next to it.
No,
The closest part basically.
it's created, it's the actual location of the tower, in case there was an emergency. I will, I can't help it.
I can get one. GIS map to work, just so we know where the structures are on.
Right, that's kind of what I would like to see more is where the actual, rather than property boundaries themselves, and to see
You
the.
can see, I mean, you have to look really close.
Oh, okay, let me look at that one then.
This is from exhibit, this is attached to exhibit O. Has a better view of,
The surrounding structures.
yeah, if you look. It's faint, but it's got,
Okay.
you can see on the adjacent.
I can make out houses.
someone was digging too, treating dirt, they're digging like this.
Is where the proposed site, is it, less wooded than the areas further to the south? It looks like there's a transition. Just from this map. Here, that's what I'm looking. So this looks like it's more, less wooded, and then it gets higher amount of woods as you kind of blend into it. Only because even looking at those houses, this looks Martin to me, right here. And then it gets, so you're in the proposed site of where there's less vegetation.
Exactly.
All right.
Up on the hill, behind where the Abbott's place.
To me, and Rebecca, I don't know, I mean, I can certainly, others, but if even coming straight back, it gets away from that kink point, which is so close to the property boundary, a little further from some of these homes, and this still has a decent amount of distance.
Right, and that's
There.
what we're.
And it, I mean, not like way in there, but even then it's a higher elevation.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I do.
Oh,
I saw that.
yeah, okay, so I don't know, I think it's worth it, going back that way. Just
Brooklyn
even,
Market
and
here.
then how much would be, or, you know, maybe you can ask them to.
I was looking at the scale, 300 feet.
Of course, we're left with who's going to.
Probably right there.
So that's.
That arrow that you have there, is about 300 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do.
Oh,
I saw that.
yeah, okay, so I don't know, I think it's worth it, going back that way. Just
Brooklyn
even,
Market
and
here.
then how much would be, or, you know, maybe you can ask them to.
I was looking at the scale, 300 feet.
Of course, we're left with who's going to.
Probably right there.
So that's.
That arrow that you have there, is about 300 feet.
Yeah.
Alright.
I guess it's like if I have a
Well, it's,
But
it's
so-
farther,
Oh, you got that.
it's farther here.
Yeah, that's, I can't get it to come up.
Yeah, that's just. It's right here instead of down
There's a certain thing from other towers to collect from those towers.
This is where there's elevations.
That's above my head, but that's above the. I'm sure.
straight back, so it would be farther from the property line.
all the homes, and it looks like it gets it further away from all of these homes. How close, you know what I'm saying? Are we shoving it closer to that one?
No, you're actually going farther away.
This, her phone is great as far as, it has the dots for the houses.
It won't pull that up on my phone.
It's raining.
That's 'cause I have this
That's right.
That's what it is. Right, so that's where this is how that looks. Because we knew that Ron's concern was if he wanted to do anything back there.
Yeah, I agree.
It's, like, I don't know if those people or what, but
Right.
I don't know the feasibility.
But, and it makes it so close to right to that bend.
Like, maybe, even back to, I don't know, like, back there, so just trying to.
She might have done a little bit, what do you think of that location?
Yeah,
as far as
even if you were,
we're gonna make
even if you were to go
recommendations?
200 feet,
So they can,
200 feet is pretty right here.
and we didn't hear anything from Apple.
Ray, can you show us straight that here? Are you good at judging these, like, if you wanna put a few of the structures on there? Anything say, larger than a house?
Yeah.
Just make
Looking
sure.
at looking where they're doing out the clearing, they were probably right about here. In the clearing, so if you were to come back to here, 200 feet,
They're
you're
right
definitely
near,
gonna miss that property.
yeah, they're right near that bend, right here, you kinda go straight over, right from that kink, right there. And that's where they have it proposed location. So I just wanna make sure it's not too close to those people on, 43.
Yeah, they're far enough away.
Just eyeballing it.
Yeah, because they're way over
Here,
here.
put them on your map over there, where you think their house is at.
Okay, so there's one here. The Fleming's house sits way back in there. Yeah, that one sits back in there. It's a big piece of property. No. There's no way. You got all this distance from here to there. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there a certain distance that you're looking for us to be away from a residence? Because
That's
the
a great
closest
question.
residence is 260 feet from the tower. So I'm just not,
Which residence?
Mr. Gaddis' property is 260 feet from the tower. I assume he got a letter and he didn't show up, so that would mean the next closest would be the 415 feet from the tower, which would be the Fleming residence. So I'm just wondering, is there a range that you're looking for?
I think we're trying to figure that out, honestly. Unless anyone has the answer already.
I think their biggest concern would be the fall zone of the tower, complete fall. Okay, so if you're looking at, what, 270 feet or 240 feet?
For the tower?
Tower,
170.
170.
Correct.
But that's from the structure. You're talking about the 268 feet from the tower to the structure, not
Correct.
the tower to the property.
From the residence. It'd be 103 feet, as Jeff said, from the
From the-
property line.
Right. So that's because the structures are,
Which again, it's designed to fall within a small, much smaller footprint than that.
But
In a
if we're
very unlikely case, it'll, of course, flat.
Okay, I was gonna say, but on the off chance that it didn't break halfway through, worst case scenario, the whole thing falls over to the side, then you're looking at, what, 70 feet of tower on the neighbor's property. Worst case scenario. I think that's what Rob is pointing out. Yeah, if it didn't break
Right,
at 80 feet.
Right, and so by, moving it further down, and that's what we're looking to say,
Mhm.
what even makes sense. You
Yeah.
make a good point, elevation clearly being, extremely relevant as you need the, height, for reception and the tower's, efficiency. So, you know, I mean, I agree, wetlands is
And
also a
certainly
major
the
consideration.
property owner, I mean, he does utilize his property, so that's if he doesn't want us to go somewhere else, then that kills the deal, I mean, can't go where he doesn't allow us to go.
Uses the woods for, maple syrup.
Correct. So any extra tree clearing, of course, would impact that.
It looks like the moving area in that cleared area. Like even if they move the tower slightly to the southwest.
In New York State, has any
because of the
tower
gardens.
of Verizon ever fall?
Not that I've heard of.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's the entire 80 by 125.
I'm just trying to use it for like a comparison, to see, cause it's back there all the ways, and it's in the woods. No. Not very far over there. Has some cookies over there.
Probably pass by and don't even notice it.
The tax comes on site, but that's more for typical stuff. Might have about it. Maybe on a monthly basis, I don't know. Probably twice a year.
Yeah, it's 268 from the structure. So that's not gonna fall anywhere on that structure. That's all we get done. There's trees back there. No, there's no, because you don't have even a local law regarding the regulation of cell towers.
Okay. Well, Senator Fox Gardens, what do? We have the second part two of the environmental assessment.
Are there any other questions as far as?
I mean,
Are we gonna table this?
I think we're gonna go get the information, but I think also, do we want an updated map that has the distances to actual structures, neighboring property structures?
I don't think that's a bad idea.
No, I didn't either.
So, I think that would be something that would be good to have.
Mr. Fleming, I'm seeing two spellings of your name. How do you spell your last name?
Fleming.
Okay, so I see.
One M.
One M,
A lot of people spell it with two.
I see that. And the next is here too.
Alright. So we do want time to review the information that was shared, at the public hearing today, as well as, we think it would be very helpful to have a map. You have excellent information here, that you provided, but a map that shows the actual location of the property, the structures that are on the neighboring properties and the distances from the, cell tower to those,
Are you
physical
looking
structures.
within a certain distance from the tower?
Yes,
I think the property to the left, or to the east, and the property to the west.
So that
I
would
think
be-
some of these others would be relevant too now,
I think they're far enough, more than far enough away.
but it would be nice to have the data,
Okay.
and numerical. So, is it appropriate for? So this map that has, the really nicely, drawn locations of the, wetlands, is a relatively, a good scale as far as that. So I think with the tower proposed here, there are properties on
All
here,
of
here,
these
here,
parcels.
a number of properties, if that, I don't actually have the distance of the same, could give you. What is this, 1,200 feet?
Fleming, Abbott,
Oh, here, that's even better, specifying the names.
One in the corner, Jablonski.
So are you just concerned with the residences or the parcel boundaries?
The residents agree,
Any structures, is that what you want?
Any
yeah,
structures.
any structures.
Like a shed or garage, anything?
I'd also like to see, the Ducharme.
Ducharme.
Thank you. Certainly any, property that's, adjacent.
and that's 260 County Route 43. That last one.
I'm sorry, can you say that
Across
again?
the road.
It's 260 County Route 43, as well as 291 Potter Road, 261 Potter Road. Did you say
I'm just looking at this here. So if you take a look at this, okay, from here to this property line is 274 feet. This
Yes.
is
you're
way
right.
way out of whack. So the only two you really need to be concerned about is east and west of
And
the
across
tower.
the road.
Well, you're far enough back away from the road, that's almost 350 feet. That's what I think.
And this right here, my last one said that the tower is 260 feet from the neighbor's property line.
Yeah. Yeah,
Past the 260, so it should be.
Right.
For where the structure is.
Yeah, I think so, yes, across the road.
He's,
so even this one
292.
Yeah.
is okay, so from here to here, there's no
but-
problem. The only concern we really have is this property.
Well, I think it would be good to have the numbers, especially if we're reviewing information that we think.
You already have, you already have the amount of feet from the property line.
I understand. This is beyond the fall of the tower, anyway,
Yes.
right there.
That's correct.
All right.
You really don't need to know
But on
the residents on that side. The only one I would be concerned about is over here, if there's a house over there.
Which one is it? One right here?
The one I, yeah, the Abbott's,
Yeah, whose houses are and trailers?
I don't know where the location of those are.
Those are more towards the front of the road.
There's some, the pictures that we received, shows you the pictures of Ray Abbott's, rentals.
probably.
Well, this is the upper tower. Right, so they'd be
Oh, right,
here
that's
somewhere,
it. They're like right, see this bend back here.
up toward the front.
Closer, yeah.
I mean, here you got, from the tower to here, you got more than enough feet to the
Okay.
property line anyway.
Okay.
That's just the property line. Off to the right,
And he said from this tower
Right.
to these structures.
Okay.
260, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that on the plan.
No,
I see what you're saying.
But it's
This
east property.
So here's the houses, right there, you have a very good view. Right here, this bend, right there.
what's your, estimate on the residents to the, from the tower to the residents on the east side? Where the trailers are?
Is that the Abbott residence?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, it's 230 feet from the residence on that property, or 260 feet, tower to residence. And actually, there should be a scale at the bottom corner.
yeah, I saw that. But I don't really have,
You know, with the residents.
I don't have a map that has the residents on it.
That was very helpful. All right.
Do we wanna go over the, first two?
So you want a map from the original on those, the structures on those two properties.
Do you wanna review the public hearing materials? Is it appropriate to do this section right now? Or what do you think? We can read it and then make revisions as needed, okay. All right.
1.5 times bigger than a tower. So half is 70. So like 280, 87. Ron said it was outside the zone. He was like, yep, that's fine, it's outside the zone.
So I think we're gonna read, part two.
161 feet.
You guys are ready?
From 170. The tower itself, so it's 170. So it's not counting the far five yet. That's two. We have 5 feet.
So with the round, it's 174.
All right, so let's go through the environmental assessment, form, part two, identification of potential project impacts, that might be relevant for what we're talking about. All right. The impact on the land. Okay?
Yep.
Yep, all right.
Sorry.
Proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site, and, the answer is yes. The proposed action may involve construction on land, where depth to water table is less than 3 feet, no, or small impact may occur. The proposed action may involve construction on slope of 15% or greater, no, or small impacts may occur.
The proposed action may involve construction on land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 feet of existing ground surface. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may involve the excavation or removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal, including from treatment by herbicides. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action is or may be located within a coastal erosion hazard area. No or small impact may occur. Impact on geological features. The proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on the site. Example, cliffs, dunes, minerals, fossils, caves. No. Impacts on water surface. The proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies. Examples, streams, rivers, ponds, or lakes. And the answer is no. Impact on groundwater. The proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater on an aquifer. No. Impact on flooding. The proposed action may result in development on land subject to flooding. The answer is yes. And then the proposed action may result in development in a designated floodway. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in development within a 100-year floodplain. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in development within a 500-year floodplain. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in or require modification of existing drainage patterns. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may change floodwater flows that contribute to flooding. No or small impact may occur. If there is a dam located on the site of the proposed action, is the dam in need of repair or upgrade? No or small action may occur. Impacts on air. The proposed action may include a state-regulated air emissions source. Yes. If the proposed action requires federal or state air emission permits, the action may also emit one or more greenhouse gases at or above the following levels. More than 100 tons per year of carbon dioxide.
1,000.
1,000 tons.
Yeah.
No or small impact may occur. More than 3.5 tons per year of nitrous oxide. No or small impact may occur. More than 1,000 tons per year of carbon equivalent of perfluorocarbons. No or small impact may occur. More than 0.045 tons per year of sulfur hexafluoride. No or small impact may occur. More than 1,000 tons per year of carbon dioxide equivalent of hydrochlorofluorocarbons emissions. No or small impact may occur. 43 tons per year or more of methane. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may generate 10 tons per year or more of any designated hazardous air pollutant, or 25 tons per year or more of any combination of such hazardous air pollutants. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may require a state air registration or may produce an emissions rate of total contaminants that may exceed 5 pounds per hour, or may include a heat source capable of producing more than 10 million BTUs per hour. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may reach 50% of any of the thresholds in A through C above. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in the combustion or thermal treatment of more than 1 ton of refuse per hour. No or small impact may occur. Impacts on plants and animals. The proposed action may result in a loss of flora or fauna. No.
Impact on agricultural resources. The proposed action may impact agricultural resources, yes. The proposed action, may impact soil classified within soil group 1 through 4 of the NYS land classification system. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may sever, cross, or otherwise limit access to agricultural land, includes cropland, hayfields, pasture, vineyard, orchard, etc. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in the excavation or compaction of the soil profile of active agricultural land. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may irreversibly convert agricultural land to non-agricultural uses, either more than 2.5 acres if located in an agricultural district, or more than 10 acres if not within an agricultural district. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may disrupt or prevent installation of an agricultural land management system. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result directly or indirectly in increased development potential or pressure on farmland. No or small impact may occur. The proposed project is not consistent with the adopted municipal farmland protection plan. No or small impact may occur. Impact on aesthetic resources. The land use of the proposed action are obviously different from or in sharp contrast to current land use patterns between those the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource. Yes. Proposed action may be visible from any officially designated federal, state, or local scenic or aesthetic resource. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in the obstruction, elimination, or significant screening of one or more officially designated scenic views. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may be visible from publicly accessible vantage points. Seasonally, examples are screened by summer foliage but visible during other seasons, or year-round. And the answer to both of those is no or small impact may occur. The situation or activity in which viewers are engaged while viewing the proposed action is routine travel by residents, including travel to and from work. No or small impact may occur, or recreational or tourism-based activities. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may cause a diminishment of the public enjoyment and appreciation of the designated aesthetic resource. No or small impact may occur. There are similar projects visible within the following distance of the proposed project, either from 0 to 1/2 mile, 1/2 to 3 miles, 3 to 5 miles, or 5+ miles. And the answer is no or small impact may occur. Impact on historic and archaeological resources. The proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource. And the answer is no. Impact on open space and recreation. The proposed action may result in a loss of recreation opportunities or a reduction of an open space resource as designated in an adopted municipal open space plan. And the answer is no. Impact on critical environmental areas. The proposed action may be located within or adjacent to a critical environmental area. The answer is no. Impact on transportation. The proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems. The answer is no. Impact on energy. The proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy. The answer is yes. The proposed action will require a new or an upgrade to an existing substation. No or small impact may occur. Impact on historic and archaeological resources. The proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource. And the answer is no. Impact on open space and recreation. The proposed action may result in a loss of recreation opportunities or a reduction of an open space resource as designated in an adopted municipal open space plan. And the answer is no.
Impact on critical environmental areas. The proposed action may be located within or adjacent to a critical environmental area. The answer is no. Impact on transportation. The proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems. The answer is no. Impact on energy. The proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy. The answer is yes. The proposed action will require a new or an upgrade to an existing substation. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action will require the creation or extension of an energy transmission or supply system to serve more than 50 single or two-family residences or to serve a commercial or industrial use. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may utilize more than 2,500 megawatt hours per year of electricity. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may involve heating and or cooling of more than 100,000 square feet of building area when completed.
This is
No.
baby.
Or a small action may occur. Impact on noise, odor, and light. The proposed action may result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting. The answer is yes. The proposed action may produce sound above noise levels established by local regulation. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in blasting within 1,500 feet of any residence, hospital, school, licensed daycare center, or nursing home. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in routine odors for more than 1 hour per day. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in light shining onto adjacent properties. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may result in lighting creating sky glow brighter than existing area conditions. No or small impact may occur. Impact on human health. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants. The answer is no. Consistency with community plans. The proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans. The answer is no. And consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character. The answer is yes. The proposed action may replace or eliminate existing facilities, structures, or areas of historic importance to the community. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may create a demand for additional community services, example, schools, police, and fire. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may displace affordable or low-income housing in an area where there is a shortage of such housing. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action may interfere with the use or enjoyment of officially recognized or designated public resources. No or small impact may occur. The proposed action is inconsistent with the predominant architectural scale and character. No or small impact may occur. Proposed action is inconsistent with the character of the existing natural landscape. No or small impact may occur.
Can we go back to, number 16? And can we read, 1 through A through M?
Yep.
Just to make sure that
That's
it's
a
a
good-
yes or a no?
That's a good idea. So
Okay.
it's the,
And this is filled out based on how they filled out part one, but you can go through.
okay, so it's the impact on human health. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants. So they answered no, but we are gonna go through and look at the list. The proposed action is located within 1,500 feet of a school, hospital, licensed daycare center, group home, nursing home, or retirement community. So that would be no. The site of the proposed action is currently undergoing remediation. No. There is a completed emergency spill remediation or a completed environmental site remediation on or adjacent to the site of the proposed action. No. The site of the action is subject to an institutional control, limiting the use of the property. For example, easement or deed restriction, no. The proposed action may affect institutional control measures that were put in place to ensure that the site remains protective of the environment and human health, no. The proposed action has adequate control measures in place to ensure that future generation, treatment and or disposal of hazardous waste will be protective of the environment and human health, and that is no. The proposed action involves construction or modification of a solid waste management facility, no. The proposed action may result in the unearthing of solid or hazardous waste, no. The proposed action may result in an increase in the rate of disposal or processing of solid waste, no. The proposed action may result in excavation or other disturbance within 2,000 feet of a site used for the disposal of solid or hazardous waste, no. The proposed action may result in the migration of explosive gases from a landfill site to adjacent off-site structures, no. And the proposed action may result in the release of contaminated leachate from the project site, no.
I just have a question. When it comes to C, you don't have to, there's no spillage or anything like this, so you don't have to have the emergency spill, listings?
No,
There's just nothing at all.
correct.
So that's why number 16 would be no, then,
Okay.
We need to make a motion to accept part 2.
We can do that today, we can do that today, and next time once you make a final decision, that's it.
Okay. I make a motion to accept part 2 of the full environmental assessment form.
I'll second.
Karen Valentino?
Yes.
Mike Cattouli?
Yes.
Cindy Gable?
Yes.
Melissa Mundy?
Yes.
And then, before the next meeting, we'll review the information that the Flemings provided. So we can respond to that and then get the revised map on that. The revised map showing the structures,
And distances.
the distances.
Yes. You guys catch all that?
So we, so are we providing a revised map showing all the structures and anything else in addition to that for next week?
Yeah, and distance from the tower to those structures,
All right.
if you could. We need a motion to table this till the next meeting.
No.
Motion.
Okay.
Should we get those that are being tabled?
If not. Yep. 60 days from closing the public hearing.
Okay. Alright.
I'm sure you're aware that we need at least 10 days prior to next meeting.
Oh, right, that's a good point. Okay, so yes, we need it at least 10 days before the next meeting, so that it, can be included on the agenda.
And what is the date?
June 19th is the next meeting.
All right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
just saying.
Pretty fun.
I have a cake for you.
What did I say?
No worries.
Cupcakes.
This is always what you like to do on your birthday. Thank you for doing it. All right, thank you. So, we don't have a lot of time, but I didn't know if you wanted to look, at that. We had discussed putting forward, language about, Article 4, Section 4.40. And at the, kind of the last minute, Missy pointed out something about that we were leaving out, and then I suddenly had a revelation that, oh my gosh, we're looking at two different versions. So there's the version with all the edits, of our law, right? Everybody has a copy. I can see Mike's got one right there, right? And you can see it's got different colors to it.
Okay.
Vaguely familiar? Okay, so what you have in your packet, your folder, see, yes, that's the thing, right there. So this is what I have in this binder. We've got it in drawers and everything else, and I believe everyone does get in this at some point, for sure.
It's in the.
This is the 2001 official law. Actually, horrifyingly, it was September 11th, 2001 is when they were having here. Huh? Yes, right there. So, yeah, disturbing. So this, we have to, if we're making recommendations, my desire is that we look at them side by side. So we know that this is the, you know, what we have at the moment. Anything else, what we're gonna see, if you open it up to 4.40 in your, now I'm confusing myself, with the draft. Now, this draft, just for, perspective, especially for those of us who have been doing this as many years, having as many birthdays fun, doing it. So this has been worked on for like, I don't know,
Years.
a decade or something like that. My impression is it's been, for many, many years. So what our approach is, because we started with trying to start with page 1, going through all the definition of terms and everything else, is it's too much to try and get it all edited, especially when we have other business that we have to attend to. So, I chatted with Dan, I chatted with Rebecca, and they said we could make recommendations to make changes to sections at a time. So that's where we said, look, we keep having issues with, the lake and building, and our New Haven laws are extreme as far as some things are, especially the lake. So we currently have, if you open up to page, the law that we handed out, go to 440 section.
Page 19.
Thank you for knowing that. Okay, so page 19, and you can see there that it just has section A with 2 subsections, 1 and 2, and then it's got, section B. So that's what we currently have, and, when we made our recommendation and we were giving the wording and everything to Rebecca, it was based on that. And, once Missy pointed out and said, wait a minute, what's this? So if you look at the draft version that has all the edits, that's page 23. And that has the additional section 3 that talks about the, floodplain stuff and.
It references the floodplain language that we were talking about adding.
So, and what we were saying is, okay, we might have to go back to see what our wording was for this thing, but I wasn't sure if it was at all possible for us to make a final decision, to say, hey, let's just do it, and then Rebecca can make a recommendation.
Cause I think once we discovered, it looks like,
I had 40 feet variance with a 20-foot variance, is what I wrote down. Now we had a 40-foot setbacks, not within the required buffer area. Part 2.
Well, if you look at the meeting minutes, hold on. Let me do it then. Right. So the
wetland is, from what my understanding, what Ron was saying, we were gonna take out that section on, that even making reference there for the class 2 and class 3 wetlands, because our recommendation of 25 feet setback wasn't even appropriate for what the DEC requires. So we were kind of just coming up with language that didn't make sense. So we were saying, let's remove that.
That is part, that was
Thank you. Thank you.
section 3.
So I think the rewording, and if everybody's looking at what current law is, what we're going with, so let's just read, I just wanted to read the, version, that's the, recommendation, you know, the ones that were edited. Okay, cause that was where the marina was
Yes.
in.
It's on page 23.
Yeah, but it's 23, so do we want to include language concerning a marina? So here was our recommendation, thank you for having the minutes handy. Alright, so here's how we were thinking of rewording it. A, in order to maintain the quality of surface and groundwater resources and to maintain the aesthetic quality of the community, buffers shall be required along the lakeshore line as follows. 40-foot setback from the mean high water mark of Lake Ontario unless prohibited by the DEC or other authorities. And then B, lights shall be placed on a premise in such a manner so as not to interfere with enjoyment of one's neighboring property. And that's where we had left it. We had removed, again, the language from the class 1 and 2, or 2 and 3 wetlands. And
other regulated.
Yep.
That was essentially number 2.
Yes, we did, we modified A a bit. Getting rid of the lakes, rivers. So, the setbacks and buffers provided in this section shall not apply to marina facilities other than buildings. Marina parking areas may be permitted within the 100-foot set, which now would be a 40-foot setback, not the 100, we're getting rid of that entirely, but not within the required buffer area. So just wanted to talk about this as a marina question for those of you who use marinas.
I have 4 different living things going on.
Are they all different? Please tell me now.
A little. Not much though.
Yay. All right, so I'm impressed, so you're in charge. I'm a little sore, speaking wise. So, Marie, so take it, Missy, whatever you wanna say about this. Do you think we need some, language about the marinas? Anybody? I just didn't want to ignore something while we've got the opportunity.
Obviously, there was some discussion at some point about adding.
Could have been 10 years ago.
Yeah,
for all
right,
we
that
know.
number 2 specifically addressing marinas.
I mean, do we have, is this a terrible question to ask? Do we have marinas in New Haven?
Yes.
Ramos.
Thank you for, okay.
Dowie Dale.
Okay, and so we don't wanna have I mean,
Catfish? That's 3.
Rambos.
No, that's another one. There's another owner.
and it's interesting because the wording that was suggested at some point says, it does want it to include the buildings. Cause they said marina facilities other than the buildings, so they're saying the building should still have the 40-foot setback. Or they were saying 100, but 40, but other things should be permissible, such as the parking lots, and I mean, it just seems like a practical thing to me.
Yeah.
Is everybody kind of good with this?
That's what it's.
My question is, okay, most of the marinas come off the lake. Is the 40-foot from the lake shore, or is it the 40-foot from the part of the marina that has the docks?
Well, I think what you proposed before was 40-foot building setback from the mean high water mark.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what.
So that wouldn't include the docking area, actual marina part.
Yeah. I think it would.
How you have it worded here is shall not apply to marina facilities other than the building, so whatever that would be. Docks,
Marina
sheds.
parking areas may be permitted within the 40-foot setback, but not within the required buffer area.
biggest concern for any building, okay, is we talked about the high water mark on Lake Ontario, is the wave action. You know, where marinas, as long as that building for the marina is 40 feet off the high water mark, we're fine. If it's inside, like, I'm looking at Dowiedale, okay, and I know where their building is, it's only 20 feet from
Across the
their
drive.
docks,
Well,
across the
with-
road.
With the variance, it could be 20 feet with the law we're proposing, so that they come in and there's no prohibition, you know, nothing prohibiting it because of,
I just want to clarify, it's the high water mark of Lake Ontario,
okay.
and not
The
really,
marina itself.
not the marina water itself.
Right.
Okay, yes, I think so. Now, all right, so this, again, is just more giving them the okay to have structures that others might not need, all right. I'm okay with it. Everybody, anybody else have a thought on this? Do we want to include it in?
Inclined to check some of the marinas and see what they figure it is.
Well, every marina that I've seen, that you guys all named, is if they have a building that's more than 40 feet from Lake Ontario.
Okay.
And do they have other structures? I mean, does this include the actual, like, the areas, the docks and things like that? I mean,
Well, look at Dowiedale, I mean, come off the lake, you come into the marina,
okay,
and then there's a road, and then the building is on the other side of that road. So they're probably 150 feet
Oh,
from
yeah,
Lake
good
Ontario,
ways, yeah.
at least. Now, you take, the one down on, Catfish, down in there, I mean, they had the house up there, but then they built a brand new house, and that's the guy just took the money, but all the marinas away from that, they don't really have a store,
No.
you know, that you have to worry about. Everything else is private property.
And Rebels, Marina
Yeah.
doesn't have a store. In fact, I don't even know if they're actually allowing people in there.
They're private.
Yeah, private, family.
So I think if any structure, even if it's a marina, has to be so many feet from,
so, I mean, that would fall
That's
within
what
the
it
first,
says on
the
that.
first
Yes.
part that we had. So
Yes.
is there any aspect of what their needs are that they needed extra concession to be included separately? Cause we just keep the wording we have for the first part with the 40 feet and, how we wanted to, you know, the building setbacks, that's gonna
Mhm.
be fine.
I think the same thing, but we say 40 feet, and it also has to go in front of DEC, anything less than that.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
The same thing would fall in the category of the marina.
So I guess
If it's- if
specifically
you want a
it's
variance of
parking
less than 40
areas
feet.
that are noted
Right.
here. Do you ranks are the parking areas? I mean, was this a concern at some point?
Well, this says marina parking areas may be permitted within the 40-foot setback, but not within the required buffer area.
Right, and we're removing the buffer area section, it looks like.
This is just on there, it's not a whole section, it's under the.
No, but originally,
Do you have it under there?
originally what was in, mine's not in color, but. yeah.
Originally, in the front.
Originally, it talked about, 50 foot of the setback area maintained as a vegetative buffer.
Right, and we got rid of
And
that.
we're taking that out, so
Yeah,
the
so
buffer
it
part really, we don't
doesn't
even need
apply.
in there.
Okay,
The reason for it?
so,
So it could just be the setback provided.
Yep.
And then the next part, marina parking areas within the 40-foot setback, and then take out the last part of that? Does that make
Yes,
sense?
because we were removing the
Right.
buffer area.
okay. So, I mean, if we see merit, we can throw it in there. I'm not opposed to it or for it, I'm neutral.
Yeah, we could throw it in there, just,
That way it doesn't leave any down.
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah,
that works.
if it's there.
Brian, can we read that, or basically
Yeah.
say it out loud?
Is Betty Jo?
Just number 2 you want, Red?
So it would, and where are we gonna shove it? So it's A,
Well, we've got A
it would
and
be
then
1, and then this would be number 2.
So this would be number
Yes,
2.
this would be 2.
The setback provided in this section shall not apply to marina facilities other than buildings. Marina parking areas may be permitted within the 40-foot setback.
Okay, and then just period.
And then what about the number 3 on the edited version?
All right, let's take a look at that then. Setback requirements may be adjusted, changed, or modified, taking into consideration floodplains. I think we kind of included this when we said,
Oh, is it on?
What the
I
DEC?
didn't look at that
yeah,
part.
and we said in, 1A1, we said unless prohibited by the DC or other authorities. I think the other thing is just kind of repeats, or, don't you think that I kind of included everything for 3?
I don't look at it as repeating it, I think that's,
Because it's
I
saying
think that's
adjusted.
important to have because it's saying that we can adjust, change, or
Change,
modify after taking into consideration.
From the DEC.
Right.
all right.
And then also.
Where the first part just says that as long as it's okay with the DEC, you
Okay.
can.
What are you gonna say, Rebecca?
Well, in 3, on the, I guess, newer version, we have in there taking into consideration floodplains and recommendations. So, in A1, we phrase it as unless prohibited, and then in 3,
Oh, okay.
it's a little more, maybe it's not prohibited, but
Mhm.
they have recommendations.
Okay. So we like it, and we can keep it.
Or would you wanna
US Army
keep, you wanna
Corps-
keep number 3 in there? Is that what you wanna do?
You're
Yeah,
saying it's
because-
good, Rebecca, cause it kind of gives there's no it's rather, it gives us the allowance to be able to modify based on recommendations rather than just are we
Prohibitions.
prohibited, so it's kind of,
Is the last part where it says and or US Army Corps of Engineers?
It's another department, but it's saying and
But is that something that we,
DEC.
right, but
Either
do we
one.
need the US Army on there?
They get
Is that-
involved.
Okay, they do,
sometimes.
okay, so we do want that on there.
alright,
So
so,
other than that, the wording will stay the same, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then A1 will be what we discussed
Yes,
last.
that's in the minutes.
I'm okay with this. Are there any other versions that we missed over there, Missy?
There should only be the
Anything
original, the edited copy that they worked on in
Tell us
2012,
now.
and then this that I gave you guys back in, what was it, January, this is right from the actual
Current law.
site plan,
Yes.
yeah, the current
Yes.
law.
But how about B, we're gonna still do that one too, right?
Yes, and we had recommended that last time too. So it's just modifying, the 2 and 3.
Well, 3 isn't gonna be modified.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
it's-
looking at the wrong thing, sorry.
It depends on which one you're looking at.
We're just, but we're modifying it in that we are adding it,
Yeah,
so that's how it's
so,
doing.
so based on what you have in the minutes, we're adding 2 with some changes, and then number 3
Yes.
as is.
Yes,
Correct.
very good. Alright,
And you wanna make that recommendation to the town board to
Yes.
consider for a local law
for, yes,
amending
for
this section of the site
4.40.
plan.
Correct. And we should probably make a motion on this version. What do you think?
I'll make a motion. What's the motion for? All that stuff?
That's right, all that stuff. So,
Uh,
The motion to amend section 4.4,
to read,
To
you gotta
read
read all that
as-
stuff?
well, I think A, we've got, A is the same. Section 1 is what we just, 40-foot building setback from the mean high water mark of Lake Ontario unless prohibited by the DEC or other authorities, obviously we would spell that out. And then 2 would be the setback and buffers provided in this the setback provided in this section shall not apply to marina facilities other than buildings. Marina parking areas may be permitted within a 40-foot setback. And then we're adding a new section 3. The setback requirements may be adjusted, changed, or modified, taking into consideration floodplains and the recommendations by the DEC and/or U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And then section B would be the same as it currently is, which is light shall be placed on a premise in such a manner so as not to interfere with the enjoyment of one's neighboring property.
Yeah, that's it. I'll make it.
So Mike's,
the motion.
so Mike's making that motion. Anyone second?
I will second that.
You're gonna second that? Can you repeat it, please? Karen Valentino?
Yes.
Mike Tully?
Yes.
Cindy Gaggle?
Yes.
Melissa Wendy?
Yes.
All right, and thank you, Rebecca, you said you're gonna
Yeah,
present
I'll
that.
type that up and then I'll
Give it
send
to the
that
board.
to the board, and I'll send that to
Excellent.
you as well.
Thank you.
Then they can decide if they want to adopt that and.
Yep, and then we can start picking on the next one. So that,
And what I'll do is I could make the recommendation to the board and also prepare a proposed local law, so it's in that format.
oh, great. Minutes, okay. All right, and I think we are right on time here.
So we're gonna table,
The next,
still Article
5.6.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna
It's
table
not,
that.
it's not a big article. We could probably do that in
That's what I always think. Mike.
3 meetings.
Three meetings, named that too.
We'll be done by
Yeah,
2030.
Alan ain't here, we get it done in one.
Without Alan, you said? Yes, yes. All right.
We have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I second something like that.
I made a motion myself if I could.